Jurgen, just how good was that result and that performance from your team tonight?
Very good, top game. After 10 minutes, I think we were really in the game, and from that moment on, we were just the counter pressing was on highest level, which is obviously very important. In general, the defending of the whole team looked exactly like it should look. So I'm really happy about the performance, and of course even more so about the 3 points and the result.
Was there a real hunger and sharpness about your side?
Yeah, so we have to show. Look, it's the first time I think in the season that pretty much, because Nico Williams came home from Wales and had some issue, played 90 minutes, probably had an injury before already, but apart from the long-term injuries, now all of the boys who were involved tonight are fit and really fit, like long enough back from injury, stuff like that, and in a really good shape. So could have lined up tonight really Oxley for sure, Naby 100%, these kind of things. So Shaq is in a really good moment. So these kind of things, that's the first time that we have that, and we will use that, and hopefully it will help us.
Was your only concern for the first hour the fact you hadn't made the breakthrough despite dominating?
Yeah, but actually we are slightly used to it, if you want. That's our year like this, that we don't score with the first chance. And when Millie didn't score with the sitter pretty much, even when it was, I have to look it back, but I think he thought the same. The goal in that corner was pretty open. Then you don't just think, meanwhile, yeah, clear. It's us as well, so we have to work harder. We have to try more often and all these kind of things. But obviously, yeah, when we brought on Diogo, was obviously in a very good shape and as fresh as possible then, because he felt the intensity of the games in Portugal. That's why he didn't start. And yeah, then we scored these wonderful goals, and Trent Alexander-Arnold showed his class again.
Did he show his class both defensively and attacking-wise tonight?
Look, I don't want to make now a funny discussion about Trent or stuff like that. I said it's Gareth's decision, and he's very much blessed with the choice he has on that position, especially. So, but Trent is in a good shape, and if somebody says he's not, then I have to say that's wrong. So, and that's all. But apart from that, Gareth makes his decisions and not I do. I'm not responsible for his decisions.
When we spoke before the game, you said it's like a mini-season. Now, what sort of start is that?
Great. Look, how you said before the game. So we don't look at Chelsea or whatever, or West Ham or whoever, or Leicester, I don't know who's around there. Because we have to win our own games, but in our situation, other teams have to lose games as well, because we cannot do it ourselves. We don't play Chelsea anymore, we don't play Leicester anymore, so and all these kind of things. But we have enough games. We have a tough program, so we don't have to start dreaming. We have to keep working, and that's what we do. But it's a nice sign. We are still there, and tonight, we even in the games when we lost some, we were not bad. But tonight the package was extremely good, and that's what you need. You need to defend with all you have, all three up front. You need to defend deep as well. Need to defend the far post area, stuff like this. They did. Then we have space, and then we get space for the one or the other counter attack and all these kind of things. So it was really good.
Great stuff. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's interesting, Michael. He uses the expression mini-season there, and he's got off to a winning start. They've won 3 games in a row in all competitions. They've kept 3 clean sheets in a row for the first time all season. Do you think this could kickstart this mini-season in terms of that top 4?
It has to, yeah. I mean, I think people have the assumption that Liverpool, because their centre-halves have been injured, they have this assumption that the defence is really poor. It's not really been the case this season. The most startling fact is the lack of goals compared to previous seasons. So it is nice, of course, it's always nice to keep clean sheets, but Liverpool have not been leaking 2s and 3s and 4s every game. They've been doing all right. One thing they've now got to step up is their home form. They haven't won in the league this year at home.
Spurs was the last time they won a home league game.
Mid-December. It's frightening, really. So that's what Liverpool have got to do now. Teams that come and just sit back, they need to find ways of breaking them down. And that's not the worst of runs. Not the worst of runs at all. I mean, Manchester United plonk in the middle of there. But apart from that, Liverpool would take that every day of the week.
I mean, it changes it. I was going to say every weekend, but it'll change again tomorrow when Spurs play and Everton on Monday and West Ham. But at the moment, looking at those fixtures with Jota back and what you've seen, would you have Liverpool amongst the favourites for fourth now?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can never write them off because I always said at some stage that three up front will kick back in. Jota will get fit. Fabinho will get back in the midfield. There's not too often we've seen Thiago and Fabinho, which is something that I was looking forward to seeing in their midfield for a long time. Trent's form is where it's always been for me. If he gets the opportunity, he'll put it in there. So you know that Liverpool are going to get better. So you look at that fixture list and you see what they've got coming up, and teams will be worried about Liverpool in the way that they now with this mini league, and at the start of it, they've started to kick in. So it must be a worry for those teams now because Chelsea, like we've seen, have a slip-up. Leicester, we saw a slip-up. So Liverpool know what it takes to get in there and stay in now.
OK, a positive day for Liverpool. Not so for Arsenal, though. When we come back, we will hear.
How disappointed are you with that result and that display?
Very much. Completely deserves to lose the game. They were better in every department. They deserve to win the game with the margin that they have or more. And unacceptable from our side the way we play today.
You're clear in your condemnation of it. What do you put it down to? What was missing? What was wrong tonight?
They were much better than us in every department. They win every duel, every second ball, every challenge. They were brave when they had the ball. They made the right decisions. We didn't. It's my fault.
Why did you say it's your fault?
Because I have to set the team to play in a different way and perform in a different way, and that's it.
Do the players not have to take some responsibility for not putting...
I prefer to do that, and I take it. Congratulations to Liverpool because I think they were exceptional today, and they can play at that level. And we saw the difference today between the two teams when we play at that level, that the margin is incredibly high.
That's honest of you to take the blame, but just how dispiriting is it?
I don't care. I don't have to use any excuses that we don't have 5 or 6 players. It's not about that. It's the standard has to be much higher for this football club, and my job is to get them to perform at that level.
Is the concern, it wasn't necessarily technical, but it was the effort?
It was technical as well, and the effort is because of the disappointment, but we gave every ball away. We could not put 3 passes together. They do that really well, they counter-press, but it's still like that. It was too many simple things not done right. The basics weren't there today, and when you do that against this level of opponent, you get punished like we have.
How big a setback does it feel, that type of display?
At the moment, I'm in shock because I didn't expect that. The way the team trained, the way the team tries, it happened today. That's a reality.
Also as well, what sort of damage has that done ahead in terms of confidence as well, ahead of a huge...
Now it's a challenge, and a challenge brings an opportunity, and in football you have an opportunity a few days later, and if you have courage, you have big balls, and you represent a club like this, you have to stand up in the next game and take it.
You made your feelings clear. Thanks for being honest with us, Mikel. Thank you.
Honest and forthright, right? He says he's in shock.
Yeah. I think that I'm in a bit of shock. Because as much as I've been saying that how poor they've started certain games recently, and like they showed great mentality in coming back against West Ham, but you're hoping that that was a one-off kind of situation and they wouldn't play with that kind of same attitude. And they've done it today. They've done it today, and they've done it against the Liverpool side that are on their way back and are going to be a lot more ruthless than West Ham were. West Ham kind of sank back into it and let Arsenal come onto it. And then if you do that, we've got the kind of players that will rise to that occasion because when the pressure's not on them, they will play. And that's what happened against West Ham. But today, you know, Liverpool were just quicker, stronger, everything. You know, all like he said.
He's talking about the effort there.
The effort, you know, which is...
What do you feel when you hear an Arsenal manager questioning Arsenal players' efforts in a game against Liverpool, the reigning champions?
Well, you say Arsenal. Obviously, it's even more disappointing for me when it's Arsenal and we're talking about effort. But any professional side, when you're playing, the effort is something that's a given because even a football fan who's in the crowd, if he can't play football and you put him out there, he would run his socks off. People say that all the time, and they would do that. It's something that is a given. You're supposed to be putting in a lot more effort than I saw today, and that would have been one of the most disappointing things for Mikel, I'm sure, because, you know, when you look at the guys, there's not one person who could look at that game and say, yeah, I done something, I tried today. Not one of them. And it was pitiful to watch.
From a overall point of view, we were talking about Liverpool now being maybe the favourites or one of the favourites to get fourth. How far, looking from the outside in, are Arsenal off that? And he's talking about the gap today there, Mikel Arteta, between the two teams.
Yeah. I think Arsenal are probably 10 or 20% worse than what we all collectively think. Their badge carries them. Their stadium and their support and the legends that have played for them carry them. So we all think, I think, when I think Arsenal, I think, oh, title challengers. It's just what I've been brought up with. It's what I naturally think. Arsenal are a huge club. So I naturally got an opinion, and our generation have got an opinion way above what they actually are. As I say...
And what are they, Michael?
Average... Well, they're ninth in the league, aren't they? So they're an average Premier League team. That's exactly what... You know, we haven't played 5 games this season. We haven't played, 15 years they've been an OK team. But it's OK is just not enough. Certainly not enough from the teams that I grew up watching with him playing, and then the next generation that were the Invincibles. I mean, wow, they've had a couple of, gluts of years where they were just unbelievable. Title-winning teams. Every season they would be up there and you'd think, wow, we've got to beat Arsenal. Now, you just... you look at fixtures, don't you, and say, oh, these are the last 10 fixtures of someone's... If you see Arsenal, secretly, you just think, well, that's not that hard a game anymore. They're just an average Premier League team at the moment. That's what the league says. Hard for Arsenal fans to stomach that, but that's what they are, and Arteta's got a huge job.
And they finished 8th last season, which was their worst league position in 25 years. They might not even get to that this season. So the question of are they going forwards, it might be are they going backwards at the moment? Have they got to take a backward step to go forwards?
Well, it's evident to see that they're not going forward. And even if they have had a couple of games where they go forward, Steve, it doesn't take too many games before they go backwards. A good side has consistency because the mentality is strong. I think that at the moment you have to look at the mentality and it must be weak. You cannot play like Arsenal have played and put in performances like they put in. 1 minute you're brilliant. You can show a second-half performance against a West Ham where you come back and show fight. But then you start a game and you haven't got that fight to try and suppress a team and really put your stamp on a team. They don't do it. They're not strong enough mentally. And I think Mikel's seen that. And I've no secret that he said it. The job he has is massive at Arsenal because, like Michael said, that's the perception. You think that Arsenal should be doing a lot better than they are, but we have to actually realise exactly where we are. And so, there's going to be some work that's going to have to be done in the summer. And it's going to have to be some unbelievable work because there's got to be so much done mentally as well as moving certain players on and getting the kind of player in. It's going to bring Arsenal back to the place that they want to be. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a 5-minute job.
And to standards where the Arsenal manager, having just played Liverpool, isn't having to come out and question his players' effort.
Yeah, the one thing that Arsenal have got is they've got, it is a club that expects. It's a club that the fans expect the highest of levels. So there's no question marks in a player's head. This is, they're used to success. They've lived on success over the years. They've got a history of great players, great managers. So there won't be any room for playing second fiddle. And the way they're playing at the moment and the way they've been playing for 10, 15 years now is just not enough for the Arsenal fans. They are all disgruntled, have been for a long time. But I see that as a good sign because if you're happy with mediocre, if you're happy with that today and being sort of mid-table in the Premier League, then, OK, go and support a different team. Oh, that's not Arsenal. Arsenal are winners. And they will be back, but it's taken a little bit longer than I thought.
OK.